Alrighty, time to make a brand new How They Can Work series episode. Oh man, it's been so long, but it has been that long, right? Oh dear, oh my goodness, it's been 3 months. Hello everyone, we're gonna be doing a How They Can Work episode today. Yeah. Apologies that it's been 3 months. Yeah, I didn't even realize that much time has passed, but we're here now. We're gonna be doing a How They Can Work episode, and this episode is very special, not only because it's, you know, the first episode in the last 3 months, but this is the 100th video for my Hero 1 Justice 2 series entire game video. I don't know what I'm talking about. Basically, if you go to my Hero 1 Justice 2 playlist where I store all my Hero 1 Justice 2 videos, I have made 100 videos about this game. You know, this is the 100th video. Now I know if you go to the playlist right now, there's already 100 there because, you know, there's technically 100 videos in that playlist, but do we really count Into the Metaverse? I mean, I think that video stands on its own. I mean, it takes up 3 playlists because it travels between the multiverse. But anyway, this is the real 100th My Hero 1 Justice 2 video, and we're doing a How They Can Work episode based on Sato. And I'm super excited because basically I'm gonna drop some lore on you. The How They Can Work series first started back during like the Sato challenge. Like if you go watch my Rikido Sato challenge like video back when I was doing my first series, the Class 1A series for My Hero 1 Justice 2, I mentioned briefly in that video, I said, oh, I want to make a video that talks about how the Class 1A students can work in My Hero 1 Justice 2, and I wanted to, like, you know, save those moveset ideas because I was talking about how like Sato could be like a fast muscular, and I had this like moveset saved since then because originally the How They Can Work series was going to be one video and it was just going to be talking about the Class 1A students because Class 1A is my favorite characters, or has my favorite characters in like all of anime, and I want to see them all in My Hero 1 Justice 2, and I thought it'd be cool. I'm like, you know, let's just make a video talk about movesets, and then eventually just turned into basically a series because I realized fitting like 7 characters in a video talking about like movesets was gonna be too much. So I'm like, okay, I'll do like a series where I talk about how the Class 1A characters could work. And then it eventually sprouted into the How They Can Work series where I started taking requests and basically making some movesets, and I've been just enjoying it ever since because it's a lot of fun actually getting to like talk about some characters that you really want to think about, or like characters that are kind of like, you know, put off to the side. You get to like revisit them, learn like a lot about them, and it's been super fun. But I just wanted to talk about that because it's just kind of like this really cool moment where I finally, with this episode, complete the original purpose of the How They Can Work series. And the How They Can Work series is still going to go on after this. I mean, you know, I've still got like a ton of characters that people have requested. I've been thinking about like a lot of these characters that I have like, you know, written down and stuff. So it's going to continue, but I just wanted to talk about this real quick because this was like the original kind of like end goal before like the How They Can Work series really just sprouted into like this huge thing. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about Sato today. I'm really excited. Yeah, so for those who are new here, basically what the How They Can Work series is, basically I talk about characters that are not in My Hero 1 Justice 2, and I try to break them down to create a moveset for them because hopefully one day they will become a playable character. You know, just trying to throw some ideas out there for movesets and stuff, so that's what this series is about. And basically, in the How They Can Work series, we talk about pretty much everything a moveset could possibly have. We don't really talk about normal attacks because every character has a normal attack, but they're usually like a punch or kick, so we don't talk about that in this series. But we talk about like red attacks and yellow attacks, so basically, you know, your armor attack and unblockable. And then we go over all the quirk specials, basically their quirk 1, quirk 2, side quirk 1, side quirk 2, and then we talk about their plus ultra attacks, mainly their plus ultra level 1 and 2, because plus ultra level 3s are basically 3 level 1s combined into one big attack, so we don't really talk about that. But yeah, that's basically the series in a nutshell, and yeah, let's get into this video. I'm sorry this intro took longer, I just really wanted to talk about all this. Also, real fast, before we begin, I just want to give a quick spoiler warning for the latest season of the My Academia anime, and also the My Academia movie, My Academia Heroes Rising. There are some spoilers in this video from those two things, the latest season, so season 5, and the My Academia movie, My Academia Heroes Rising. So just in case you haven't seen the movie or haven't caught up in the anime, just know that there are some spoilers in this video. Now, with all that out of the way, let's begin the video. Alrighty, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Rikido Sato from Class 1A. So Sato's quirk is called Sugar Rush, and it basically allows him to convert sugar into power. The exact measurements are let me see if I can remember what President Mike said in the episode. Rikido Sato, his quirk is called Sugar Rush. For every 10 grams of sugar he consumes, he's 5 times as strong for 3 minutes. I believe that's what President Mike said. I'm like replaying that like moment in my head because I'm trying to like remember. He was like, Rikido Sato, his quirk, Sugar Rush. For every 10 grams of sugar he consumes, he's 5 times as strong for 3 minutes. However, the more sugar he consumes for power, the more his cognitive functions suffer. I believe that's what President Mike said. I'm not looking at any clips. If I got that right, oh my gosh, I've got an impeccable memory. But yeah, that is Sato's quirk. So we're going to try and make a moveset around that. I really hope I got that right. I'm trying to really go off of memory. Alrighty, so let's start off with this quirk 1. So for his quirk 1, I have it labeled Sugar Rush, basically the name of his quirk. And basically what would happen is Sato would consume some sugar, so he basically get like a sugar pouch out and basically like down it. And then it would power him up and basically increase his strength and speed. And yeah, so it would also be like a level system. So like the best way I can compare it is basically kind of like Kaminari, where if Kaminari uses his like electricity a lot, he'd basically have like his different levels. So like his level 1, he doesn't have any particles around him, he's just normal. He uses his quirk and basically he'll get into his level 2 system where he has like electricity particles around him, like yellow electricity particles around him. And then basically if you use it more, he'll go basically into his level 3 state where he gets blue electricity around him, and then eventually into his fry out. So basically that's what Sugar Rush would be like. So Sato would basically work the same way as like Kaminari, except slightly different. Like he would basically work on like a level system. He would have like, you know, different levels to like how much like of like a bonus he would get. But it also eventually leads to like a drawback. But it's not the same exact thing as Kaminari because obviously we have to make him different, and also they have 2 different quirks. So with Sato, he would have 2 levels to his level system, not 3. Basically his level 1 is where he has no particles around him, he's just normal. But then after he uses Sugar Rush, he would go into his level 2 state where he would have like white sugar particles around him. And basically, like I said before, it would increase his damage and speed because of like that's how his quirk works. You know, Sugar Rush powers him up, so you know it makes sense. That's why his quirk special would work like this. But also Sugar Rush in the series has, you know, a downside to it, where eventually it will affect his cognitive functions and also cause like a sugar crash like we saw when he was fighting Cementos with Kirishima. So basically what would happen is after, you know, some time goes by with like his bonus where he gets super strong and fast, eventually his controls will get inverted for 5 seconds, and then after those 5 seconds he'll go into like a sugar crash. Like he'll basically go into like a sleepy animation for 3 seconds, and once the sugar crash is over, he'll go back to his normal level 1 state. Like I said before, he could basically be like a fast muscular. Muscular being, you know, super strong, like he gets like a really good like power up bonus and he does like insane damage once he gets that bonus. But to balance that out, he's kind of like got like slow movement speed. Where Sato basically, even though he gets a power bonus, he's also faster. The way we balance that out is with his quirk Sugar Rush, basically, you know, with eventually it turning into like inverted controls, and then basically, you know, the sugar crash where he's open for like a couple of seconds. And I think that works out pretty well because, you know, you only have like the bonus for like a short amount of time, and then basically once it's over, you'll have inverted controls, which can be a bad thing for some people. But eventually, you know, if you keep playing with the character, it also adds like this unique gimmick where it's like, oh, you can also still do really well with Sato if you just learn how to, you know, work with those inverted controls. So at first it could be like a bad thing, but if you really practice and main Sato, then it could be like something that it's just like, oh, that's not really a bad thing, I've gotten used to that. But, you know, obviously the, you know, sugar crash is the bad thing because you're open for 3 seconds and you can't do anything about that. So yeah, I also chose 5 seconds and 3 seconds, you know, 5 seconds for the inverted controls and 3 seconds for the sleepy animation because I just basically took out like those like key numbers from his quirk description. The description of his quirk is for every 10 grams of sugar he consumes, he's 5 times as strong for 3 minutes. That's where I got those, you know, numbers from. But you can obviously change it because if it's not, you know, fair, like if it isn't balanced enough, you can obviously change the second, you know, amount. You know, I just chose those, you know, numbers because of his quirk description. I thought it'd be a fun Easter egg. But I think that's a really cool quirk 1 for him because obviously it incorporates his quirk from the series into the game. Also, it adds like a unique gimmick, basically kind of like a power-up bonus that's on a level system that's more mainly for like, you know, brawler characters, you know, like or more close quarter fighters. And also the kind of like drawback gimmick is unique because it's not just like Kaminari where he eventually just goes into like this like animation where you can't move, you're just open. He also has something unique before it where his controls get inverted. So I think that's pretty unique, and I think that's a great quirk 1 for him. Alrighty, so now we actually have to talk about some, like, actual attacks, because his quirk 1, although it's really good, it's not like an actual physical damaging attack. It's just kind of like a boost for his actual attacks. So let's start off with his first actual attack, which is his side quirk 1, and it's called Sweet Uppercut. And basically what Sato would do is an uppercut. Where I got this idea from is basically in the forest training arc. Sato, when they were in like the Beast Forest fighting against Pixie Bob's quirk, he kind of like uppercutted one of those, mud monsters, and that's where I got the idea from. And also, I think it would make sense that he would have like an uppercut because, he is kind of like based off of like a wrestler, so I think it'd be really cool to give him like some cool like punching attacks like an uppercut. So yeah, that's where his side quirk 1 comes from, and that's his side quirk 1. I think it's really good for combos, obviously, and yeah. Moving on to his quirk 2, I have it labeled Sugar Strike. Basically, this is where Sato does like a bunch of like fast punches, basically like a rapid jab, and this would basically be his like key kind of like move for like combos, basically because it's rapid jabs and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We've seen him do it in the anime during like the joint training arc and stuff. And also when he was fighting like Cementos with Kirishima, like he just threw out like a bunch of fast punches. So I think it would make the most sense for him to have that. It's also, just really good for combos and stuff. And you can also link it up with the side quirk 1, like the uppercut and stuff. So I think that would work really well. And yeah. And moving on to his side quirk 2, I have it labeled Seismic Sugar Throw. This is where Sato would grab the opponent and then he would spin and throw them. So this would be a really good move to kind of like end a combo, because once he throws them, they would, get thrown so far away he can't, continue a combo. You might be able to continue it with like an assist. So basically, like after he throws them, you can send out like Jiro, and basically she would stun them with her sound waves and stuff. So that could be something you can do. If you hold the button down, maybe you can also turn it into like a red attack and stuff. So basically, it's kind of like an unblockable kind of like grab. That would make like a lot of sense, I would think, in my mind. And yeah, I think it would be a pretty cool move. Again, it'd be a good move if you don't have an assist to kind of like finish a combo. If you have an assist, maybe you can like extend it and stuff. And basically where I got the idea for this quirk special is when they were in the USJ, he basically worked with Sero to kind of like throw Kurogiri. So basically Sero kind of like taped up Kurogiri, and then Sato grabbed Sero's tape, and then they kind of like, threw Kurogiri, well, mainly Sato, because he kind of like spun and then threw him. That's where I got the idea from, because this move basically he grabs the opponent and then spins and throws them. That's the idea. That's where the that's the reference for this quirk special. And yeah, I think it'd be a pretty cool thing to see in the game. And yeah. And moving on to his red and yellow attack. So for his red attack, I have it where he would basically kind of like pick up the opponent and then just throw them. Where I get this idea from is basically during the first episode of season 5, when Class 1A were fighting like the big 3 and saving Mirio and stuff. Him and Tokoyami threw Mineta and Sue, and basically it would basically look like how he threw his like classmate. He basically just picked them up and throw them. So that's where like that idea comes from. I think that'd be a really cool animation to see in the game, and also just a cool callback to like the first episode of season 5. And for his yellow attack, I have it where he basically do like a punch. Pretty basic, but Sato is a close quarter fighter. He's kind of like a brawler, we know that. So I think giving him just an average punch kind of like animation for his yellow attack works out. And yeah, that is his red and yellow attacks. And moving on to his plus ultra level 1. So for his level 1, I have it where Sato would consume some sugar, and he would basically attack with like a bunch of fast punches as he kind of like runs towards the opponent. And after the animation is over, it would put him in his level 2 sugar rush state. So basically, yeah, this level 1 would be pretty cool because it's kind of like an actual callback to when he was fighting Cementos, because with him and Kirishima, they basically kind of like just ran throwing punches at Cementos' wall to try to like close the distance and stuff, and I think that'd be a really cool kind of like callback. And also, once the level 1 is over, you get a bonus because it puts him right into his level 2 state, so you get that extra power up bonus, so you don't have to like waste time with like his quirk 1, consuming sugar, like with that animation. So yeah, it basically just puts him right into his level 2 state. And yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool to see. Again, it's just like a direct callback to his end of the semester test, with Cementos, and I think it'd be pretty cool. And moving on to his level 2, I have it where Sato would basically consume some sugar, sugar rush, and then he would basically rush towards the opponent and start hitting them over and over with like rapid punches. He would then uppercut the opponent into the air, and after that he would basically kind of like jump up to kind of like follow them. and once he's in the air, he would basically go into like a diving punch, like how he did in like My Academia Heroes Rising, and basically slam the opponent into the ground, causing like a debris explosion. And then the animation could end with the debris clearing away, and basically it would go into like a close-up of Sato in his like sugar crash mode. He'd basically kind of like be falling asleep. And yeah, I think that'd be a really cool level 2 to see in the game, because we get to like see like what Sato was trying to like do when he was fighting 9, because if you remember in that movie, when he went in for that attack, 9 just basically broke out of Todoroki and Sero's like, attacks and stuff, and he basically hit Sato away, so we didn't get to see that really cool move that Sato was going to do. But this level 2 kind of like fixes that, so we actually see what was going to happen. And I think it's a cool callback to, Heroes Rising and stuff. And I think it'd be a really cool thing to see in the game. And yeah, that is his level 2. But that is my moveset for Rikido Sato, the last Class 1A member in the How They Can Work series. And yeah, I think Sato would be a really, really fun character, because I think Muscular is fun already. I think he's like a great character. So having another character like Muscular in the game would be really, really fun. Except obviously, Sato would be different, and I think that would make him even more fun, because you also have to like, basically learn someone new. It wouldn't be just a copy and paste of Muscular, but they would be very similar. Basically they both have like a power-up kind of like bonus, but they have two different kind of things they have to deal with. Muscular has to deal with his slow movement speed, where Sato has to deal with like his drawbacks. So I think it'd be pretty fun, and I think he'd be just a great addition to the game, just like all the other Class 1A members. And yeah, that is my moveset for Sato. If you guys would like to see a specific character in this series, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be happy to try to create a moveset for that character. And if you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That would be amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Apologies that there hasn't been a How They Can Work episode in 3 months, but hopefully we'll get back on track, seeing that the summer's coming up and stuff. So yeah, that is my movesets for Sato, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.